Shut the switch.
Morning, everybody. We're going to wait a couple minutes while students get into their seats. So about 9:10, we'll kick things off. While we're waiting, if you have any questions for any of the speakers, there's a Q&A box on your screen. Take advantage of that and ask anything that you'd like to get an answer for.
Okay. How many students?
So live, we are hoping for probably a little over 100 students, but
okay.
This will be recorded, and so the recordings will be available for, I believe, 1 year, and we're going to continually point people towards these. I believe Marilyn Barger's on, and she'll help us determine the total number of classrooms that access it, I think.
Gotcha.
So,
nice.
we'll update you once we have a better idea of how many total there is. We'll be going live in just about another minute. Go ahead and enter questions in the Q&A box if you have any.
And you said just tell Amanda to forward to the next slide, correct?
Yes, just let her know. Okay. All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Paul Miller, President of the Northwest Florida Manufacturers Council. Northwest Florida is known for its collaborations. The Council, along with Santa Rosa Economic Development Office and Santa Rosa County School System, work closely with area businesses to ensure that the community has all the resources we need to remain strong in the future. We all agree the students and teachers who are hard at work learning the skills needed to compete are the crucial resource for our businesses. Eastman Chemical, the only gold level winner of the Florida Governor's Sterling Award this year and founding member of the council, is an essential resource for you, combining all the pieces you're learning about right here in your neighborhood. If you'd like to hear more from companies like Eastman Chemical, please visit our website, NWFMC.org, and let me know which companies in the council can help you put some context to your curriculum. At the end of the presentation, there will be a brief survey. Please fill this out so that our partners at FLATE can improve our abilities to serve your needs. I want to thank the team at Florida Makes, a network of regional manufacturing associations like NWFMC, for providing the tools and people to put this all together. As always, Florida Makes is here to make Florida manufacturers more efficient and help them out in any way they can. To learn more about them and how you can help and how they can help you, go to floridamakes.com. Now, for a quick technical note, you'll notice that there are icons across the bottom of your screen. The plant tour console is interactive, and you're able to minimize and maximize different aspects of your screen. The video and slides will be playing in the slides area, and the presenter webcams are visible in Media Player. You'll need to turn up the volume in the slides box to hear the video. Just hover your mouse over the video, and the icon will be on the bottom left. The QA box is in the middle, above the other icons. You can submit questions to the presenters there. To get us started, here is Shannon Ogletree, Director of the Santa Rosa Economic Development Office, followed by Santa Rosa County Schools Department of Workforce Education Director, Charlene Knight. Take it away, Shannon.
Much appreciated, and thank you for the opportunity to speak this morning. Like mentioned, Shannon Ogletree, the Executive Director here at the Santa Rosa County Economic Development Office, and we'll continue forward. You know, what most people don't realize is actually where Santa Rosa County is. So, you know, as you guys know, we're in the Panhandle, and this map right here basically shows, you know, how far we're away. You'd be amazed. I'm amazed still by, individuals that are flying into Miami or Orlando and still considering that, we're in the same state, though, still 12 to 10 hours away, that, hey, let's meet up for lunch, let's meet up for dinner. And, it's geography lessons. Geography is important nowadays still. But, this is what we say is basically within our reach of trying to attract companies. So basically what my responsibility is, our office does, is attract companies like Eastman Chemicals to Santa Rosa County so that opportunities arise, as you graduate high school, as you graduate college, are available out there for a great job, a great career as you move forward in life. Next slide, please. One more. Santa Rosa County is part of the Pensacola MSA, so demographics matter a lot. When companies are looking at whether or not to move to your area, they ask about the basic demographics. So we're basically we are part of the Pensacola MSA, which is basically 500,000 individuals, about 200,000 households. We have an average wage about $48,000 for the two-county area. So why is that important? Companies want to know that when they're moving here, when they're considering Santa Rosa County and Pensacola, that they have the workforce here, they have the individuals here that that can work for them and make them profitable, so they can further succeed and further grow and to hire more people and to continue to grow the economy. Again, that is our primary responsibility, is to bring companies like Eastman Chemicals, so that as you graduate again and as you move forward, have a great job. What we're going to go through over the next few slides is some of the amazing companies that we have here in addition to Eastman. Afterwards, you'll have a tour of Eastman virtually, but I wanted to show you some companies that we have here. So Amanda, one more, please. To kick it off, this is a company down in Gulf Breeze. Everlax Technologies. They make displays for the Hummers, for the C-130s, for aircraft. So they have a lot of defense contracts, and they actually engineer and produce these displays down in Gulf Breeze. Right around Tiger Point, they have around 50 to 60 people working there. They have a great average wage of 150%, which is floating around $55,000 a year. So great little company. Tad is originally from Atlanta. Decided he wanted to get away from the rat race of Atlanta and move to the Gulf Breeze area so he could settle in, have a great place for his daughter to grow up, and his business is thriving. Next, please. Next, most people don't realize Cape Horn Boats, a facility out there in East Milton. They produce anywhere from a 28-foot to a 42-foot boat. And Scott and Chris out there, they have a great operation. They employ around 70 to 80 individuals. They are producing, I believe, 5 or 6 boats a year, or 5 or 6 boats a month. They have clients as far as overseas, from Canada to Saudi Arabia to Europe, Germany. All around the world, they have clients asking for their boats, and so these boats are produced over in East Milton and shipped worldwide. Next, please. Gulf Cable, one of the largest manufacturers in Northwest Florida. These guys produce cabling for solar farms and wind farms. They have maybe close to 400 individuals working there. They continue to expand. But they, the wind farms and solar farms out in the Midwest, those cablings are produced here. They manufacture, they stretch the wires, they extrude the wire, and as you can tell, that they work 7 days a week. They have a great operation out there. I know Kevin and Brian quite well. So they've been here in the community basically 8 years in Milton. Next. Builders First, they make the trusses and they make the lumber that goes into the houses. We have one of the fastest growing populations in the United States. So if ever asked if you're ever on Jeopardy or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Santa Rosa County is the 11th fastest growing county in the state of Florida. And for the past 2 years, Santa Rosa County has been the 69th fastest growing county in the United States. So we're growing at leaps and bounds, basically adding 25 to 3,000 new individuals every year. So companies like Build Us First or Boise Lumber Cascade, they are making, the trusses, the lumber foundations that are building these new houses that we are, bringing new people in. Next. Separation Systems, a little company down in Gulf Breeze again. What Idella makes basically is an engineering device that measures gasification that runs through pipes. So their clients consist of Ford and GM. So when they're testing how fuel efficient a vehicle is, they're making these gasometers, I think is what it's called, to test the flow of the liquid, the gas flowing through the pipes, the hoses, to say how much pressure, how much fuel efficiency it is. So Idella, she has around 8 people working for her. So our office works with all different sizes, from separation systems at 8 individuals up to 400 at Gulf Cable. Next, please. Production Metal Stampings, cool little company with Barry. They produce metal fixtures. So the bridge that was not destroyed, but hit by the barges just during Hurricane Sally. He's making a lot of the fixtures that are going on there. So if you're walking across the bridge and you see the handrail, those handrails were actually made at Production Metal Stampings over here in Milton. So he does that. He makes a lot of the fixtures for Bell South and AT&T, and he's done some Hard Rock Cafe stuff also. So a lot of that stuff is going through CNC operators, which is a class that is taken out of Pensacola State College, and it's working with, making such fixtures as I mentioned. They do a great lot of good work out of there just for a 10-person operation. Next, please. Straincore, another wire company located right off Avalon. Al Brown and his crew makes cabling that actually goes into aircraft. So like the Boeings and the Airbuses, you're talking miles and miles of wire that goes into an aircraft. I had the opportunity to be in Seattle and tour a Boeing facility and see all the innards of a 747. So when you're in a plane, you don't imagine what's between the outside of the plane and what you're sitting in. It's just, like I said, anything from noise cancellation to wires that are moving the data through there for your Wi-Fi or for the for the TV console. But a lot of that cabling is made here at Straincore right off Avalon. Next, please. And then lastly, another cool company, TPR, a company, again, over in East Milton. Chuck and his group, they produce aircraft parts for Boeing. He's what they call a ISO 9000 certified. So they basically produce parts that are within, millimeters of being within a correct form. So from not fuselages, but for the turbines and for the insides of a Boeing, that is coming from here. So as you see, the gentleman working on it is a jet machine, a water laser, another CNC operator. So those are the type of operations we have here. A lot of people ask, next slide, is why, these are what we have here. What are we going after? These are just some of the few companies that, get a lot of people excited from, what we're working on now. One of the biggest ones we're working on now or have landed is Leonardo helicopters. This is a company that's looking to establish a large presence at our near Whiting, NAS Whiting Field. They're going to be hiring upwards of 50 people. They're looking for people with A&P mechanic skills, so people that can work on aircraft, and they're going to have a great average wage, pushing around $70,000 to $73,000 a year. Runner is a distribution facility, so they're looking for people to work in the warehouse or have a CDL license, and that group is going to have, I think they're going to be paying around $45,000, a annual wage. So as you can see, from aviation to manufacturing to distribution, those are the type of companies that we really try to focus on to bring to the area. 4 different distributions, 5 manufacturings. But if there's any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. And then lastly, people ask, why do we focus on what we want to focus on? And Amanda, if you could switch it over one more. Why do we focus on what we focus on? It's because of what we call the economic impact. Basically, as it boils down to it, is that every manufacturing job or every distribution job creates a fourth indirect job or induced job out in the community. So if you're working for, say, Leonardo Helicopters, and you go out and you spend that wage at Walmart, or you go to McDonald's or Whataburger, that is the induced job. That means that you're spending your wage at those facilities that are helping those companies hire somebody else. And so that matters. So if that comes, you can expect more opportunities at those fast food restaurants or the retail facilities. Indirect jobs is when Leonardo comes and they need to buy supplies. So if they need to buy supplies for their aircraft, or if they're looking for, a machine shop, it's a new machine shop adding people to their facility to help support their operations. So that's the reason we try to focus on, direct or manufacturing, distribution, aviation jobs, because they create additional jobs in the community, where more opportunities, for my kids as they get older, or when they're in high school, that they want to be, have a high school job, and then afterwards, after they graduate and get their certificate, then they can work at one of these fine facilities. So with that, I know that was quick and dirty, but just wanted to provide the, what we have here in Santa Rosa County, what we're working on, and why does it matter. So if there's any questions, comments, or concerns.
No, that's great. Thank you, Shannon. We're going to have some questions toward the end, but really appreciate your presentation and your willingness to do the work that's helping these students get ready for their careers. All right, Charlene, you ready?
I am ready. Good morning. I wanted to first say thank you to Eastman Chemical, Florida Makes, and the Northwest Florida Manufacturers Council for making this type of opportunity available to our students. We started this journey back in 2014 when several of our regional manufacturers came together, I think concerned about having a workforce into the future, and we started collaborating with them on how we could possibly stand up some career academies in our middle and high schools that would prepare students for these high skill, high wage, in demand opportunities right here at home after they graduate. And back in 2015, we were able to secure some funding through the Florida legislature to start career academies all across Northwest Florida with this mission in mind. And we are fortunate to have 2 of those here in Santa Rosa County. One at King Middle School in Milton that also articulates to Milton High School's Advanced Manufacturing Academy. And those students, I believe, are going to be on with us today, taking part in this virtual tour in real time, and we're glad to have you here. I'm going to say one more thing, and I know we're eager to get our tour started, but my job as the Director of Workforce Education is really a 2-pronged approach to making sure that we as a school district are providing career and technical training opportunities for our students to be able to take advantage of these high skill, high wage opportunities after graduation, that they have the education, the training, and the certifications needed. And then also to make sure that as a school district, we're collaborating and partnering with regional industry to make sure that you have the workforce that you need to maintain a positive economic impact for our community. And again, I just want to thank you all for making this opportunity available to our students today.
Thanks, Charlene. So now we have a video on Eastman. Amanda, if you could get that started. All right, Wayne, you ready?
Yes, here I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Wayne Henson. I'm the site manager out here at the Pace Eastman plant. I'm also the chairman of the board of Northwest Manufacturing Council, who, as mentioned earlier, does a lot of work around academies, trying to help develop skills to take on some of these manufacturing jobs that are coming open as folks retire and as we grow. So I'll do a quick overview. So Eastman is a global company. If you see here, it's got about 15,000 people, 50 sites, and $10 billion in revenue. It's headquartered in Kingsport, Tennessee. So our headquarters for this plant here is in Kingsport. One of the things I want to touch on about Eastman real quick is one of the biggest initiatives that I've seen them go through in a long time, and it's around the circular economy. I'm very proud of that. It's where we're trying to take plastic. This is a lot of plastic that folks don't normally want. I mean, usually the bottle plastic shredder is pretty popular, but waste plastic, things that have no other use. So Eastman has got a huge initiative right now to take almost all that waste plastic and recycle it back into chemicals. So very huge initiative there on the environmental side for Eastman. Should be starting up here this year, early next year, at least the engineering process of the plant. So next. It just shows you some of our manufacturing sites across North America, South America, Europe, and Asia. We have a lot of sites, 50 manufacturing sites. Next. This just shows you what we're into. I mean, Eastman tries to be diversified like any other company wants to be diversified. And what that does is allow you to, withstand some downturns in certain industries and still stay a viable company. So the more diversified you are, the more robust your company is. So we're in all different areas of transportation, building, construction, energy, ag. So next. That's just a picture of the Pace site. It's about as much as I can get. It's a 1,500 acre site. So that's a picture of it. And we've actually got a wildlife sanctuary out here, and it's really well known for bird watching. We have folks that do bird watching out here. They feed data into the Audubon societies, and we tour students from West Florida's classes over here. So, we're proud of the wildlife sanctuary and proud of the bird watching that goes on out here, in addition to making the chemicals. And here's the chemical people out there listening, but we basically build molecules. We take ammonia and an alcohol, and we build different molecules out of that. We'll react that ammonia and methanol to make either mono, di, or trimethylamine, depending how many methanols we react with it. And we send that to customers. The customers take that chemical and build even different molecules out of it to go into their products. I'll show you a few of those products in a second. So go to the next slide. Here's a few, for instance, and some of these we're very proud of, and these are from Pace right now. The Clorox wipes, the Lysol sprays, the Dawn dish detergents, all those are extremely important, especially right now, given the COVID that's going around. So we've had an increase in demand there, and what we're proud of that support that we're giving in the fight against COVID in those products for sure. You also see chicken feed is big, and a lot of agricultural, we do seed treatments and soil treatments. Next. Just a picture of our electrician shop. We have a lot of electricians here to maintain our vast production facility, instrumentation, and controls. Next. This picture of the maintenance shop. We have quite a few mechanics out here too. You can imagine we've got a lot of mechanical equipment, pumps and valves and heat exchangers. They have to be maintained. So, next. All of our chemical products, we have to make sure they are to quality that meets our customer spec. So we have an analytical laboratory that's high-tech equipment, gas chromatographs that used to measure the quality of our equipment and make sure it meets spec. And then we can make adjustments in process so we can make sure it meets our customer spec, and we send it out the door to them. A lot of troubleshooting and design work can go on here too, as we analyze our products for impurities, low level, and learn ways to control them better. Next. Here's a picture of an operating console. So our plant is really computer-based. Plants run from a DCS console like you see here. These operators are running on a computer. The entire facility you see out there, it's all run from right here in the control room. And we do have some outside operators that run around to do certain things, operate valves, start pumps, but the majority of the control is done from in the control room. Next. I know that was quick, but I appreciate you guys, everybody here has come to learn more about Eastman and about manufacturing in general. I mean, Eastman's just one manufacturing plant, but there's plenty of opportunities out there. If you have an interest in something different than what we do, there's plenty of manufacturing sites that do so many different things. I'm sure you can find an interest that fits your skills and what you like to do out there somewhere in the manufacturing area. So thank you for spending our time with us today. It'd be nice if we could do it in person, but that's not possible right now. Thanks, Paul.
Right. Thanks, Wayne. I think we're going to hand it over to your HR director, Jade Kelly. Is your mic on, Jade?
Now it is. Sorry about that. I swore that wasn't going to happen. Good morning. Thank you all for being with us today. I am Jade Kelly, the HR manager here at the site, and I would like to introduce you to a couple of people that are with me. I'm taking off my mask so that I can introduce them, and then they will do the same. Each of them plays a different role in the site, and very important roles. They're essential folks here at the site, and different paths to get to this career. So I would like to first introduce Darren Edwards. Darren is an environmental technician, and he is going to talk to you a little bit about his story, about how he got here and what skills are needed. And then Darren will introduce our other person, Rick. So Darren, take it away.
Lose my mask now. Good morning, I'm Darren Edwards, environmental technician. First off, I'd like to say this class that you guys offer is really impressive. I think it's really going to do good things. I've been at this facility for a little over 7 years now, 4 of which as an environmental technician, 3 of which as an operator beforehand. A position came available about 4 years ago in this department, and I needed to be challenged a little more, so I put in for it and was awarded the position. Very good career choice. If one thing I could stress enough is education. You've got the opportunity now to basically do anything you'd like in this world, and it's going to involve education directly out of high school. I've got an 18-year-old son, and excuse me, I tell him the same exact thing. He's a freshman in college now, graduated from Pace High School. But basically, you can do anything you want in this world as long as you're educated or find the skill set to do so. That would be the most important thing I could stress. Challenging. You'd meet a lot of good individuals and have a very successful career. Eastman's been an excellent company to work for, and will continue to be. I think that's about all I have. If you got any questions, please ask. I'll introduce Rick Metzger, who's our environmental technologist. Excuse me, lab technologist.
Yeah. All right, now it's my turn. Rick Metzger, I'm laboratory technologist. I've been with Eastman 10 years, almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years in February. Been in the chemical manufacturing industry for 30 years. And I'm kind of I'm going to tell you where you guys are is where I was 30 years ago. I really didn't know where I wanted to go for my career, and chemistry in my senior year is what turned me on to a great career. I had a great little German teacher in Chicago, and chemistry was just very important to her, and the passion. I think that's, if I wanted to tell you guys anything about a career choice or what you need, is to find your passion. And when you find your passion, you'll have doors open and opportunities, and work won't just be work. It'll be exciting. It'll be challenging, and you'll just find things. I actually gave this kind of talk to my nephew this weekend. He was a sophomore in high school, and he asked me, Uncle Rick, he says, can you give me some pointers on what I need to do, when I look to graduate as a senior? And that's what I told him. I said, it's your passion. Find that passion. And so when I found that passion in chemistry in high school, I went into college and actually honed that skill. And that's how I got into manufacturing. Because what I think for manufacturing, you need, like Darren was saying, you need some kind of an education and knowledge, but you also have to apply that knowledge and education. And I think manufacturing, you blend a mechanical skill and a knowledge skill together, and it creates a great career for you guys. I'm encouraged that you're all listening in. Hopefully you take some notes. But like I said, I just want to leave you with it. Find that passion, go with it, and you'll go far in your career. And I'm going to turn it back over to Jade now.
Thank you, Rick, and thank you, Darren.
So I see a question. I see a question, Jade, about education requirements. You may want to talk about that in some of the roles. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on a minute. I have to get to that part. So as far as an operator, and thank you, Ms. Thorpe. As far as being an operator goes, at the minimum you need, of course, you've got to have a high school education. We generally don't hire folks here that, well, we don't hire anybody that doesn't have a high school education, but because manufacturing is, there's more advances in technology that are happening. And so as we move along in our process here, as far as advancing our manufacturing areas, we need folks that have some kind of like a process technology degree would be a wonderful, that would be a great to have as a process technology degree. I think Pensacola State College offers an advanced manufacturing. If you can have some sort of skill set there, take some classes, get a 2-year degree would be the best case scenario to be able to have a skill set already that is mechanical, like Rick mentioned, so mechanical. That will help you with technology. You've got to be mechanically inclined. We want people who have worked out, who have done preferably some industrial experience, because working at a plant, here in Florida, it's also a very hot job too. So we want to make sure that someone has had some sort of experience working outside or in industry. But we do take folks who don't have experience, and it depends on what that skill set is. I hope I answered that question. And let me just also say that once we hire someone as an operator, if someone doesn't have any experience, then we have certain levels. There's 6 levels of being an operator, and someone might start at the entry level, or if you've got a little experience or maybe been an operator before, we may bring you in at a higher level, and then you'll learn various job tasks over the course of a year. And as soon as you demonstrate proficiency and meet the time requirement, then you would promote to the next level, and then eventually top out at the top level, which is level 1. And our jobs pay anywhere from entry level, which is going to be about $40,000, $38,000 to $40,000, to about $70,000 is our top level for an operator.
Hey, this is Shannon.
Go ahead, Shannon.
I was just going to jump in. Also, I'd like to add, I have the great privilege of working with, multiple companies, throughout the county and throughout Northwest Florida. One thing I do here on a consistent basis is the soft skills. I don't want to, forget about the soft skills also, is that, when you meet with a potential employer, when you're talking with some, it's that firm handshake. It's looking them in the eye. It's not looking away. It's being able to hold a conversation. Is once you get that job, it's showing up on time. I hear that day in and day out of from the employers that their employees are not be able to show up on time, and they can't work until, or something arises on a daily basis that requires them to leave early. So showing up on time, not goofing off, and continue to be there until until the job is done, until the time ends. Like I said, that's something I want to press upon, and like I said, that's what I hear from multiple companies throughout the region.
And I can't, and thank you for saying that, Shannon, because I can't stress that enough either. An interview starts from the time that a resume is submitted, and I look at your resume, to the time that you are maybe offered the position, and all of those things matter. It's how you, answer, respond to an email, how you, whether or not you're on time, how much attention you pay, whether or not you've researched the company. If you're going to do an interview, if you're going to interview with a company, make sure you go online and you research that company. Make sure you have a firm handshake. Make all of those things that Shannon mentioned are absolutely true. I've had the privilege of, I think a couple years ago, I went into Miss Thorpe's class to talk about soft skills, and that's something that I have a little bit of a customer service background as well, and I very much enjoy helping students and young folks with soft skills, because I don't think that's something that maybe there's not being enough attention paid to that, and it's very important in the scheme of things.
Great, thanks. So we have another one that from a Milton High student. What are some of the job positions that you have available? And throw on top of it what may be coming available soon.
We have a very, well, I shouldn't say very small. We have, so our Kingsport, Tennessee corporate site has 6,000 employees. Just to give some perspective, we have about 102 employees here at our site. We are a great employer. We're a great employer in the area. We don't have a whole lot of turnover. Right now, we don't have any open positions. We're hoping to have a mechanic position available in January. Hope to have an engineer position available too. So we hire process engineers, production engineers. Those folks have to have degrees in generally chemical engineering. But currently, we don't have an opening. One thing I want to say about our operator position is many times as we have an operator position open, we have one position called an operations helper, and that person is someone who does some going around the plant, helping operators do some things, checking for any emissions that there might be. That's a very important role, and then that person can learn the plant and eventually promote to an operator, and then we would replace the operations helper if that person is ready. So as much as I'd like to say that we have a lot of open positions at one time, we don't. So checking the Eastman website for the career section would be important. The job board, our positions will be posted through Career Source Florida. So that would be important to check also.
Just Wayne, I'd add a little, you're talking about job positions we have. There are several that don't require a degree, just so you square on that. I mean, we have operators, we have people that load chemicals, we have people that drive the trains, and even mechanics and electricians are usually 2-year type degrees, not college 4-year degrees. So we have positions for sure, but like Jay said, they don't come open, and a lot of that's good. I mean, if we have very little turnover. You know, most of it's retirees, so we have good employee satisfaction. We don't have a lot of turnover, but we do have openings come up several times a year in some of those areas.
What might a resume for an entry-level worker, one of those positions you're talking about, look like? What would stand out on a resume for one of those people?
For me, I'll add Jake to finish this, but a lot of times, if you have some experience in a manufacturing-related facility, there are a lot of entry-level manufacturing type facilities, but some experience in doing some mechanical work or working in an environment that's more production or manufacturing, even if it's making pallets or something like that. But any kind of experience like that is always a help. It's a competitive environment for sure. Okay?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think that's important. That would have someone would stand out, and because we don't have like that operations helper role is that only role we have. But because there's not much turnover in these positions that come open are not few and far between, there's a lot of competition for them. So what we want to do is hire the best, most qualified person for that role, and having some of that experience, industry. I think there's I think a perception too that if you work for maybe a residential electrician, that would equate to the same as an industry as an electrician or mechanic, and that doesn't quite match up. So having that industry experience is very helpful. And besides that, I want to stress too those behaviors and soft skills are so important. Sometimes we can, for certain jobs, if we get someone who's got awesome initiative and we can tell that this person is a hard worker and dependable, and maybe they're lacking a little bit in some of that experience. Well, it's kind of a package deal. So we prefer to have that experience because we want to take our site and our processes to the next level, but we also want to have a person who's going to be committed and sort of display all those characteristics of a great long-term employee.
We are high paying for the area. We for manufacturing as well, but and because we have a lot of hazards here that some other manufacturing plants don't have, that's why we like to have some of that experience, that someone has a safety mindset already and has that experience around hazardous equipment before they come here. But not necessarily, as Jay said, but preferred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's why it's so important that in Mrs. Thorpe's class that they work with the CPT curriculum and getting the students their OSHA 10-hour card. All right, so we have a question here. How many different products do you sell?
So we react ammonia with methanol, and that makes 3 products, monodiene trimethylamine. We do the same thing with butanol, which is butyl alcohol, propyl alcohol, and pentyl alcohol. So those each make 3 products. So you get 3, 6, 9, 12. Then we make another product called dimethyl laurylamine. That's a dimethylamine reacted with a long chain C12, C14 alcohol. So that's the one, that dimethyl laurylamine is the one that goes into the sanitize, the Lysol spray, the Clorox wipes, the Dawn dish detergent, that kind of thing. So and then we make 13 different chemicals that but all of our chemicals are usually turned into something else by another. We sell to someone, they turn into another chemical that goes into their product. So a lot of ours are just building blocks for other chemicals.
Right. All right. Are you able to work around the schedule of an employee who is still in school, continuing their education, and/or I'll combine questions. How do you invest in your current employees when they're showing promise?
So as far as working around someone who's currently in school, we have set schedules. So for instance, it depends on the position, really. An operator, for instance, it's a 12-hour rotating schedule, and someone's got to be here for that schedule. So if someone's going to school or trying to go to school, that really becomes something that folks need to do on their off time. We have a 7-day on, 7-day off schedule currently, so there is time to get that done, but it's something that needs to fit in outside of work. We might have folks who are, say, if you're someone who's an engineer and they're trying to go to school, well, there's a little more, that person maybe has a laptop and can work from home, and so there could be a little more flexibility there. So it depends on the position. We're a very lean site, so all 103 employees are very important to getting the work done. So we try to be flexible where we can, absolutely. And Paul, that second part to your question, as far as when someone shows promise, we are always trying to coach people to be their best. We have performance management system. There's the manager has coaching conversations with their folks. And so if somebody's showing promise, then we want to make sure that we kind of fan those flames and make sure that someone gets the additional experience maybe that they need or can be put on a different project. We have tuition reimbursement here as well, so we would suggest some coursework. So there's a variety of things that we can do for someone who shows promise.
And sometimes we even move someone we have opportunities sometimes for an operator to become a mechanic or different roles moved within the plant to get more experience in different roles, just like Darren moved to environmental. We have opportunities like that to grow your knowledge level at the site.
Hey, and this is Shane. Want me to go ahead and jump in? This is Shannon again. again, just having the opportunity to work with, many different companies across the area. If you're looking for a good career, with job opportunities available now, take, for example, ST Engineering over in Pensacola. They're looking at hiring, they will have eventually 1,300 individuals located at their facility. And, what are they looking for? What type of skill sets? I mean, many of the soft skill sets that we'd already mentioned, but also being an A&P mechanic. So George Stone out of Escambia County has a great training program where, if you go through that 2-year training program at George Stone, ST is basically guaranteeing you a job starting, I think about, $18-20 an hour, probably might correct me there, at their facility. So it's another 2 years of school, but if you get that A&P training certificate, that what they offer, you have basically a job for life. If it's not ST, it could be Leonardo. It could be Vertex over in Crestview. It could be Boeing up in South Carolina, or it could be Boeing over in, up in Seattle. It could be Airbus in Mobile. You get that training certificate, there is a job out there waiting for you. If you're looking for something like that. Before I jumped in what I was in, I was a welder. I was a truck. I drove short trucks, and it was a good career. I enjoyed it. I just made a life-changing move, but I like that type of work, and I get to advise people all the time. And between ST, Leonardo, Vertex, Airbus, we have the opportunities here. The Southeast, this Gulf Coast corridor along I-10, is quickly becoming a aviation aerospace hub. So, like I said, if you're looking for a career after high school, just 2 more years at George Stone to get your A&P, and you will have a job, and you will have a job making darn good money for the rest of your life. Opportunities now, not just something like that, but Gulf Coast and everything else out there. So, boundless opportunities.
Yeah, I would agree, and I'd say that the technical schools work so closely with industry in the area. Laughlin Tech is another great one. If they're offering a program, it's because there are jobs right now in your community, and so when you have a chance to look at those programs, whether it's George Stone or Laughlin or some of the other local technical schools, you are looking directly at jobs. So take advantage of that. We have another interesting question here, and it's timely. Who gets the plant ready when bad weather threatens? What do they have to do?
Yeah, so we have a pretty good procedures on such as hurricanes coming, like we were threatened with here recently, and then Sally actually hit here. So it's a process that we start usually. We start in May, actually, for hurricane season. We have all our preseason preps we do to get ready for hurricane season. We keep generators here at the site. We pay $120,000 a year to keep 2 generators here at the site we might need for emergency reasons in the hurricane. We stock all our hurricane supplies. We pick our hurricane crew. So when the hurricane actually comes, 48 hours in advance, we're securing things, we're making things in good condition, and 36 hours in advance, we're shutting down the plant, and that's usually the operators and mechanics, electricians come in and shut the plant down, empty everything out, about 36 hours for the hurricane arrival. And then after that, we put a skeleton crew, which we've identified at the beginning of the year who that skeleton crew would be. And right this year, it's myself and HSCS representatives and a couple operators, a couple mechanics, a couple electricians, and we shelter here at the administrative building during the hurricane. Plant's down. And after the hurricane, the procedure is to go out and inspect everything and make sure all your electrical equipment's in good shape, make sure all your mechanical equipment's in good shape. And at that point, we depending on how bad it was in the area, we'll start calling people back in to restart the plant back up. So shutting the plant down is a 24/7 operation. Shutting this plant down takes a day and a half during that type of shutdown. Normally, you would take a lot longer, but during an emergency shutdown like that, we can do it about a day and a half. And then starting back up again typically takes 7 to 10 days to get the plant back and running. So, we err on the safe side. We're not going to have anybody out there running the plant. They're certainly during hurricane force winds and even tropical storm force winds. So we err on taking the plant down to be safe, even though it's a significant undertaking.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so how important is it for the company to engage with the community? What are some of the ways you're able to do this?
Want that one, Jade?
Sure. It's very important for us to engage with the community, and we do different things as a company. For instance, I told you a little bit earlier that I had gone to Ms. Thorpe's class to talk to students. I've gone to Pensacola High School to do the same. Brought someone with me to do a little show and tell. We're involved in manufacturing councils. I've been to Lachlan with they had an I&E instrumentation electrical program, and we brought one of our electricians and talked to the class and the teachers. We participate on the Northwest Florida Manufacturing Council. We've done manufacturing tours during Manufacturing Month and then outside of Manufacturing Month as well. We've done some tours. It's been a superbly challenging year this year, a little bit different this year. We haven't been able to do that, and so we're just happy that we get to do today's message. Like Wayne mentioned, we engage with the community as far as the bird watching tours. So we try to get involved as much as we can in the community and do things as a company can maybe advance the preparation of students for manufacturing. I've sat on a talent committee. There's a Northwest Florida Forward initiative as far as readying this whole Northwest Florida corridor for future growth and attracting industry. So as much as we can, we try to find opportunities where we can interact with the community.
So we have an active community advisory panel. It's a panel of folks, representatives from the community that we meet with face-to-face once a quarter, but that COVID has kind of hurt that a little bit. But we meet face-to-face and we try to hear what issues might be going in the community and what concerns there might be out there. And we try to work with folks in the community that way to make sure we're being responsible community members and addressing any concerns that folks have.
Wow, that's great. One of the comments noticed in your slideshow how organized your shop was. Do your people get training in 5S and lean manufacturing principles?
I'd like to say that they do, but they don't. So we have we go through some quality management, ISO quality. That was that looked like somebody's mom was coming to visit, where it was all so just neat and tidy, and that's wonderful. And I'd like to say that's what it looks like every darn day, but it is very organized. We do inspections. So there's a team of employees and leadership who goes out and does audits and inspections. And one of the things that we'll do is housekeeping. So we will audit on housekeeping, and it should look like that every day. At the end of a tough day or in the midst of a shutdown, it might not look quite as organized as that, but most times we expect it to be very well organized.
Yeah, I would add that's been the most impressive thing since I've been to this site. And I came down here in February 2015. Is the amount of ownership there is on housekeeping and keeping things neat, keeping things in order. Now, it is a 5S type strategy, right? But it's ingrained in folks here, and it's ingrained in our total safety process and our housekeeping inspection. So very, very strong strength definitely for this site is housekeeping and cleanliness, even in the production areas.
It really shows. I do want to say thank you to Darren and Rick, who both mentioned the students in the classroom, Ms. Thorpe's classroom especially. And Jade, I would say that your customer service talk with the classroom worked, because I've been in there and several of the students jumped right up, introduced themselves, gave me a tour of what the classroom was. It was really impressive, and I know it's part of Ms. Thorpe's curriculum now. So I want to say thank you for that. But once COVID is done, or virtually, would there ever be an opportunity for Darren or Rick or some of your other employees to speak with the students and talk to them about important skill sets?
Absolutely. I think either one of them would be happy to do that, and it would absolutely be something that we could do. Yep. Just let me know.
Great, thank you. I will. I will. All right. So We have
I
a
guess we
few
lost our
other
student.
questions.
I guess they left.
Yeah, I think the students have left. They'll this is recording, so we'll be able to, get this to anybody else. But does anybody else have anything to say? I'd like to, say thank you to everybody for participating.
Appreciate you including us, and we will do what we can to help the students become future manufacturers. Anything that we can do to promote manufacturing is wonderful.
Great. Well, thank you all. We really appreciate this. We'll get feedback to everybody as far as how many of the other classrooms are able to watch. And we have a few other questions, and I will get those answered and to the people who have signed up. So thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.